There are so many great books out there, and I love what books can do for us. The adventure, the excitement, the escape, what we can learn. I love to use books like in teaching. I use them in the classroom, I use them with the girls all the time because there are so many great things that can come out of it, like the discussion and just like the points to it, and this is great. And my last video was like why we should be teaching tolerance and how we can do it. And I said, we can use books. There are many great books that teach tolerance. It can be wonderful to sit together, like to read a book and then discuss the message of it. It really is an open door to rich and meaningful conversations. Hi, and welcome to Learning Life, and thank you for letting me bring for you today some wonderful books that teach about tolerance. I did one on teaching books that teach about compassion and empathy, and that link is below because, you see, I get passionate about these subjects. I want to bring them to people. I want to help. Just like I love learning and I love researching, and I'm like, I want to share these with people because there are so many great books out there. There are so many great things that we can be learning out there on so many subjects. And so thank you for watching. And thank you for your likes and your subscribes and for sharing with your friends and just really being part of this learning life. Now, there are many wonderful books that teach about tolerance. I just really picked some that I really love, that I have used and I have seen that it really sparks this critical thinking, what can I be thinking about this? And just those discussions that come from it. I also just want to say, don't discount picture books for our older kids. We seem to sort of write them off, when they get to be about 10, they're like, oh no, we won't do picture books with them. Picture books are wonderful for all ages. I know, for me, I'm reading to my girl, I'm like, I'm getting so much out of this. So I just want to say, while most of these are picture books, do not discount them for your older kids, your tweens, even your early teens, because the pictures, the message that is there, great family discussions. The Wall in the Middle of the Book, written and illustrated by John Agee. Wonderful author, wonderful book. It's a story about tearing down walls, in order to experience the truth and to perhaps even possibly discover that people are not always as you imagined. Fancy that. So there's a wall in this story that separates one side of the book from the other until it doesn't. You're going to think in unexpected ways and pay attention to the pictures because they are vital to the message. So it shows tolerance in such an unusual but beautiful way. It really is funny, but it is also moving. Strictly No Elephants by Lisa Manchev and illustrated by Taeyeon Yu. No one wants to be left out. Everybody wants to have friends and feel included. In this book, a boy and his elephant, they face disappointment, they're trying to participate in the local pet club, but they are rejected. So they decide to create their own club where everyone and every pet is welcome. Such a great way to really bring in this idea of inclusivity and, just this kindness and making sure that nobody is rejected. This is how we do it. One Day in the Lives of 7 Kids from Around the World by Matt Lemothe. Okay, an amazing book that teaches about different cultures. And if you hang around me, I love to teach about different cultures. Any opportunity I get, at co-ops and whatever, to teach about the world, I do it. This is an illustration of, as the title says, One Day in the Lives of 7 Kids from Around the World. You're going to take a look at how these children live, their homes, their families, how are they getting about, what is their language, what they're eating, how they play, all of these things. This book is such a rich way to show how others live, an easy way to show how others live. And it also shows that different is not wrong. Great conversation starter. Great conversation starter. I encourage you, get this book and read it with your family and talk through it. I'll Walk With You, written by Carolyn Pearson and illustrated by Jean Sanders. Now, this one really is for younger children, but the message is for us all because we learn to show love for the people around us, no matter how they look, they sound, they pray, they love, or they think. Because everybody deserves to be loved, no matter what. And this is an important message for this day and age. The Sneetches, written and illustrated by Dr. Seuss. And now I know that he is a hot button controversial author right now, that people just want to cancel him. And I get some of his books have some stuff that we're like, we've moved beyond that. But we can be teaching our children from these books, like read them, discuss them. I do that with my girls. Like, hey, did you see this line here and this illustration? That's really culturally insensitive. Like, what are we going to do here? Okay. Don't discount the books just because of like a few little things. Actually use them to teach. And so the Sneetches does this. It teaches tolerance. It helps children to understand that absurdity of judging people by their appearance instead of their character. Do we do that as people? It is satire, but it shows how people can become obsessed with outward appearance to the point that they actually are neglecting their true selves. I think it's still an important message today. Now, while the Sneetches aren't real, we really can apply that to us, like to this theme of being human. And you know what? We often have discriminated against others just based on appearance. Sweety, written and illustrated by Andrea Zuel. Sweety is awkward, even for a naked mole rat. And I love that there is a book about a naked mole rat. Okay, she's got those front teeth, she's got thick glasses, and some very unusual hobbies, including interpretive dance, which makes me chuckle because my brothers and I used to love to pretend to do interpretive dance, and fungus identification. Okay, so here is Sweety. She's passionate, she's intense, and others just don't seem to get her. So she sets out to find others who also like mushrooms, and what she comes to realize is that being Sweety, being herself, is actually pretty awesome. So this is a story about like learning how to embrace everything that you are, your uniqueness. And our children need that. That is one of the things about tolerance, learning to understand our uniqueness and then in others. And it is done like with delicacy and it's done with humor. And I really think that many children, if not all, will relate to Sweety. The Same but Different Too, by Carl Newson and illustrated by Kate Hindley. Now, there's something about each of us that makes us special. And while everyone is unique, we also have many things in common as well. And I like that uniqueness, but we do have common things. And this book is, it's a rhyming book. I love rhyming books. And it explores the way that we're the same but different too. And this really is a great way to start talking about physical differences, because we are seeing that around, and it is not something I think that we should shy from, but we should learn how to talk about it and how to reach out and present and be empathetic in it. If the World Were a Village, a book about the world's people by David J. Smith and illustrated by Sheila Armstrong. So this book really encourages children, well, all of us, to learn about the world and develop that world-mindedness. And by that we're not being worldly, but we're thinking about the world as our community. We are going to imagine the world's population as a village of 100 people. And in this book, each person in the village represents approximately 70 million people in the real world. And you explore the lives of the villagers. Here we're just down to 100. And you really do discover that life in other countries can be very different from your own. Fancy that. We're looking at how many people speak different languages? How many languages are there? What about religions? Or what about this? Even access to safe water. It really is a great book that encourages critical thinking, of thinking about others and really thinking about the world. And in that, beautifully explaining and building up why and how we can be learning about tolerance and how we can be a tolerant person. So this is just some of the books. There are plenty more. I feel like these are the cream of the crop. And as I said, most of them are picture books because I love that pictures can use it. And especially if we relate animals or, made up creatures, whatever it is, we can apply it to us. This is how we are human. This is how we can be. Do you have any favorite books that you might use, like on teaching tolerance or teaching about differences or anything like that. I would love to know. I'm always on the lookout, like for new books that I could be using in units of work, or like even using with my girls or in co-ops or other places that I'm at. Shoot me a comment down below and tell me like what your books are that you really love. Well, thank you so much for watching today, for being part of this Learning Life. If you want to help get these videos out, you can, yes. You can do that by becoming a champion. So check that out at patreon.com. Or don't forget to check out like my website where I will have a list of all of these books for you. And that is LearningThis.Life.